Hello there, I hope you're having a brilliant Sunday. Welcome back to Crafters TV. My name is Joe. This is a craft class, which to me is like a kind of masterclass, but a bit more back to basics. We're going to focus, as we always do, on a certain type of product or a style of crafting. And this week it is all about stenciling hand in hand with a bit of mixed media as well. And thankfully, we've managed to get the head mistress of Crafters TV back in the building. We haven't worked together for ages, but the lovely Jan is with me. How are you, Jan?
I'm fine, thanks, Joe. Honestly, we were just saying it's like ships that pass in the night, aren't we? There's absolutely no telling how it's going to work, but it does seem a while since we've worked together, but it's always a laugh. I always look forward to it, Joe.
Oh,
but
me
yeah,
too.
Brilliant.
We always have a giggle. What are we going to learn then? What can we expect, Jan, over the next couple of hours?
It's based around stenciling today. So what I'm going to do is I'll sort of go right back to the basics to start off with, and I've got some samples just to show you some of the things that we're going to have a look at. So we've got the gorgeous 3D poppy stencil on there, which is lovely. You know, poppies, you tend to think of the red, but you know me, I like to do something different. So we're leaving the red alone when we demo, and we're going to go for something totally different. We've also got in that nice little starter pack, if you're just new to this kind of thing, we've got that lovely heart stencil in there as well. So there's a couple there in the starter pack. We're also going to have a look. I love these. We've got those
lovely, aren't they? Shaped
words, and these have got stenciling on them as well. So you can either use them together with your papers. You can use them. Each one's got stencils, which we'll all mix and match. So I'm going to show you how to use those. We've got those lovely background focal stencils and stamps in there. So this one was the happiness blooms. I've just picked a couple out. There are loads to show you. And then we've got the one with the music on.
Love that one.
So again, just using inks, you know, we've got some of those mixed media products back on. So I'm going to be using pastes, I'm going to be using paints, I'm going to all sorts of things. That one's one of the big 12 by 12 stencils. And again, I want to show you today that you don't have to do a 12 by 12 product. We're going to have a look at both later on in the show. So I'm going to do something on a 12 by 12 page, but then I'm going to bring it down to a card size as well. And then that's that gorgeous leather one. Again, just done with the inks. There's so much. It's quite flat, to be honest, but just looks so textured, I think, that just with the inks on it. So just a quick snapshot of what we've got coming up for you later.
Awesome. Well, it's going to be a fun couple of hours. You can get in touch with me in all the normal ways. We need to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers across in the US and also down under, because I know you guys in Australia and the US are celebrating Mother's Day. Well, yesterday technically in Australia, because it's now, well, it depends where you are. If you're in Perth, it might just all be Mother's Day, only just by a smidgen. We've also got a special promotion running today across all the products. Place an order containing products from Crafters TV and you will get a one-off 50 bonus points, which is fantastic. What I'd also like to do is, now we had a great Sharon Callis takeover Craft House last night. If you missed that, go back and watch it after this show. We've got a few very low stocked stencils from Sharon Callis in this show. So I'm going to wish you through them now. You've got the Princess stencil, which is this one here. They're all $2.39 or $3.59. We also have the arrows. Now these are going to be fun for creating your backgrounds. Those though are limited stock. You'll need to check those out immediately if you're after those ones. Let's get ziggy with it. Yeah. Getting ziggy. If you want that one, also limited stock. You need to be quick for that. It's a gorgeous chevron, that one. We've also got Around the Block, which is this one here. Limited stock as well. You need to be quick for that. We also have, oh, that's what it's called, Tag Your It. Sorry, I thought Georgina was playing some sort of odd game with me then in the gallery. Tag Your It is this one, just here. Limited stock again, $2.39 or $3.59. And finally, we also have the regiment, alphabet and number. Always so useful to have an alphabet stencil. What I also want to introduce to you really quickly is the amazing starter kit that we have available for you on the show. And in here, you're going to get a Stampin' stencil, which is absolutely awesome, which is this one just here. What you're also getting in here is a layering stencil too. So a good introduction to a couple of different types and styles of stenciling for you. What you're then going to get is you're going to get an ink pad in here. You're getting the honey pot. You're also going to get the blending tool. We're going to give you the stamping card, which is perfect to stencil on. It should be called the everything card, really. And you're going to get that work mat. So for mucky pups like myself out there, that's going to keep your counter pristine and clean, which is awesome. Loads of you tuning in saying hi. I'd love to see pictures of any of your stenciling projects in this show. Please send those over to me, studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk. But I think, Jan, without further ado, it's time to get crafting. I am ready. I'm feeling very studious today ahead of this this craft class. So I'm ready. I'm like a veritable sponge, ready to soak up all this info.
Soak up all that information.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right, well, we're going to start with that kit, Joe. I thought that was a great place to start. So if you are new to this kind of crafting, just to give you some of the basic info. And we chose this one to put in the kit. And this is a 3D embossing folder, and it comes with 2 stencils as well. And the stencils allow you to highlight areas on the embossing folder. So like that sample that I showed you at the beginning there, you can see here where we've got raised embossing of the detail, and then we've used the stencils to go through in a background layer, which is the lighter colour, and then the darker colours highlighted. So I'm going to show you how to do this, but I'm going to use that yellow that's in your starter kit, and I just thought, had a look, poppies do come in different colours. We tend to think of them as being red, but they do come in different colours. So I'm going to bring in that lovely honey pot. It's a really rich yellow, and this comes in that starter kit as well. I'm going to sneak in a couple of our Cosmic Shimmer products. So if you haven't seen those, I'll be using those throughout the show, and we'll talk about them as we use them. Now, I've actually got my rectangular applicator here. It's a set of the round ones in the starter kit. They do the same job, and a lot of it is just preference as to whether you like the rectangles or the circles. I use both. I tend to use the circular ones for smaller areas and the rectangular ones for a bit larger area, and other than that, they pretty much do the same job. So it's a case of just, you know, we pop them in there for you to have a go. So I've got those at the ready. I've also cut down a piece of our stamping card, which we've also put in that kit. We want a nice smooth surface to work on here, and I've cut this down to just slightly smaller than the size of the embossing folder, which is 7 by 5 inches. So let me just pop those pieces to one side. And this is more of a sort of traditional size that we're used to for an embossing folder. So 7 inches along, 5 inches wide. Now I cut my card just smaller than that so that it just fits nicely inside the folder. So I've gone for 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. So it just fits nicely. There is almost a border around the edge of the folder, so it just allows that cardstock to fit inside. And then you get your 2 layers of stencils. So you can see here that we've got one that's quite open, that's going to cover the poppies themselves, and then we've got one that's just got sort of a highlighted area, and I'm going to put some texture paste through that layer just to show you something a bit different. So let's start off with the embossing then. So I'm going to literally colour this first, because I don't want it to be white, I want it to be yellow. And what I've done is I've snuck in one of the chalk polishers. Now, we've had this on the show before, and I know some of you went for this custard colour. It's absolutely beautiful. Don't know whether we've got the custard on the show today, but we have got some other colours available. But I know when this was on, it went like wildfire, so I know a lot of you got it at home.
Definitely worth, Jan, if people haven't seen any of those, going over to the Shop the Show area of the website, because there are lots and lots of brilliant mixed media products, aren't they, in the show. We'll try and share as many of them as we can as we go through. There are some chalk polishes on the website at the moment.
Yeah, I will try and touch on them, Joe, as we demo as to what each one is, because I've tried to use a range of them throughout the show, so we will try and touch on them. So this one's actually, it's almost like a mousse texture. If I open it up here, you can see inside there, it's beautiful. Honestly, I love it. Absolutely love
so
it.
Good as well.
And I love the chalk finish. I love that you get that matte finish on it. And these come with their own applicators. So this is not just the style of the actual pot. If you push this with your thumbs, you've got your applicator embedded in the pot. So you don't have to worry about whether you've got the right colour to work with or where you've put it or anything like that. So I'm literally just going to load up my sponge, and I'm going to pop this into the mousse. And I'm literally just rubbing it against the edge of the pot. You don't need loads of it at once. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to go straight over my piece of cardstock and just look at that colour.
Oh, that coverage is excellent,
gorgeous.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And it really, really nice, easy application.
So is this, would you say, is this something you could stamp over once it's dried,
yes,
Jan?
You certainly could, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, you could. So once it's dry, you could pretty much do anything on it. All we need to be aware of is that it is a water-based product.
Okay.
So if you start adding water to it, then you could move the colour around. So if you think about it like we do our inks, which are water-reactive inks, and treat it the same, then we'd be okay.
Does that mean, though, you might be able to incorporate water to do some different techniques with it?
Yes, could do. Yeah.
Awesome.
So once it's dry, you're going to get a fairly sort of finished medium with it. But while it's wet, you know, you could dilute this and make it sort of more transparent. You could actually paint with it by popping it on your mat and actually diluting it a little bit. Anything that's water-based opens up a world of wealth as far as what you can do with them. So literally, I've gone across one way, and if there are any streaks in it, what I tend to do is just come back this way now. So just to go over it, it's not too bad there, but it just fills in any areas that you may have missed with that first coverage. Whoops. And it dries really quickly. It's quite warm here in the studio, but even at home, when I did this at home, it does dry quite quickly, even though I've put a couple of layers on it. But again, you can either let it air dry, it'll take a couple of minutes to dry, or if you're really impatient, you could actually just pop your heat tool over it to finish it off.
Excellent.
So just a little bit of housekeeping, make sure that you've not got any product around the edge of your pot there. It just helps with opening it next time, that you're not going to seal it together.
Gilmore wants to know if it leaves a chalky feel to the touch once it's dry.
Yes, it does.
It does.
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. And then obviously, because it's water-based, I'm just going to give that a little spritz with my water spritzer, and we can literally get rid of that. Now I've got my glass mat here, but I could just as easily be working on that craft mat that we've popped in the starter kit for you. And obviously we've done that to try and keep that price a bit more manageable.
Absolutely.
So you can use your craft mat on top of the glass mat, or you can use it independently, whichever you prefer. So we've got that first layer down now. And this is pretty much, I'm just going to give it a little tiny blast with my and I have turned it on. They laugh at me when I bring this because they can't hear it.
I just don't believe it. I think you're just pretending. I think
come
this is
here
one
and
you've tried earlier. You're like, yeah.
You come and put your hand under it, Joe, and then tell me whether I'm pretending.
I think it's magic. We need to get these in stock. These silent
I love it,
tools.
honestly. It does the same job. It's just a bit more gentle. So just to make sure it's totally dry, because we're going to then put this into the embossing folder. So you can see it's still the white on one side, that gorgeous rich colour that it's created. And then the honey pot is a shade darker than this. So this is going to work beautifully with that lemon. So just to make sure inside your folder that you're working on the right side, if you're not familiar with them, we've got a raised side here and a recessed side. So I want to put my colour over the raised side so it pushes up through that colour. If I popped it on this side, it would push the raised bit into the colour and pop it out at the other side. So we get a debossed effect, which is just as nice. But on this instance, I want it raised so that I can work with that stencil. So I'm just going to line it up inside there. And just be mindful that it is a 3D folder. So as far as your plate combination is concerned, if you're using a Gemini, we need to use a clear plate, a magnetic shim, your folder with the cardstock, and then your plastic shim as the top layer. We're omitting that second clear plate. It doesn't need that. Because the folder's thicker, it needs less pressure from the plates. Now, if you're using something that's not a Gemini, I would just refer back to your instruction manual to give you an idea of a little bit of trial and error involved as to which plates you might need to use.
Just a great chance to say as well, Jan, if anyone's got any questions about anything stenciling, mixed media wise, because this is a bit more of a back to basics show, Craft Plus, it's a great opportunity for you to ask those questions whilst we've got the headmistress of Crafters TV here as well. Crafters TV over on Facebook, or of course Crafters Companion on YouTube. Drop into the comments, and our social media superstar for the day is Crystal. She'll pop them over to me. That's your new title now.
Is it? Headmistress. I'm going to have my name plaque on the thing, aren't
You will.
I?
We're going to have to get you one of those, like, you know, like a head boy badge, but with headmistress on it.
It'll be enter, Mr. Remblance, enter. So when we open this up, look, we've got that gorgeous reveal, and I think that on its own is just beautiful. So it's not cracked any of that paint there. You can see that beautiful sculpting on the embossing, and then you've got the background work in there as well. So we've done what we need to do with the embossing folder. I'm just going to pop that back on there and then bring those stencils back into play. So these fit now over the top of your design. We'll just get them the right way around. And you can see that they're designed to work over that raised image. Nice. So all the part that's come up through that embossing folder is now hidden inside those elements of my stencil, and that's where I'm going to bring in my ink. Now you can tape this down, so if you wanted to work with it, you could just pop a little bit of tape along the back and tape it down. I'm just going to hold it in place. And the one tip I will give you with this is when you emboss or die cut card, you can stretch the card because of the amount of pressure in the machines, particularly our Geminis. You can stretch the card a little bit. So if you find that this doesn't line up all the way along, this one's not looking bad, it's just starting to drift a little bit at this end. So what I'm going to do is work with half of it and then just nudge it along that, just that millimetre to get it in the right place at this side, which is why I tend not to stick them down. So I'm going to get it lined up at the beginning here. And I'm going to go through the whole of it with my honey pot. And this is the pigment ink that we've popped in the kit for you.
Brilliant.
And literally just take this through. And you can see that that's actually darker now than that custard chalk paint. So we're going to get that raised area that is actually embossed just standing out nicely with that yellow.
Nona's saying good afternoon from a very warm and sunny Whitby. Oh, it's a nice day in Whitby today.
Oh, lovely,
She's
yes.
letting me know as well that California poppies are multicoloured as well. So maybe you could, do a whole array of different colours.
You could do like a rainbow, couldn't you? Oh, lovely. So yeah, I'm just literally brushing that through. Just be careful, be gentle, because obviously there are some areas of your stencil that are delicate. And these stencils are good heavy duty, so they will last. And the ink will just wipe off them when you're finished as well. So a little bit of water or a wet wipe and they will wipe off. So just as we get to that last bit at this end, I'm just sort of nudging it that little bit to make sure that it's still over the area that I want to colour. And
could we do this with other inks as well, this technique, Jan?
Yes, you could. I wouldn't recommend, well, you could get away with your quick dry. You'd have to be fast with the quick dry inks, but your water reactive inks will work. And you could also use a different colour of the chalk paint as well. If you wanted to carry on with this medium, if you'd got a different colour, you could actually use that to go through the stencil. So lots of different things. As I say, the second layer, I'm actually going to put some sparkle texture paste through just to give it a little bit of a, it's got to have a bit of a glitz on it,
always a bit of glitz and glam, Jan. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. Aisha says, is Jan using watercolour card for this?
It is stamping card. And the reason you could do the technique, it would work on watercolour card. The only thing that to be aware of with watercolour card, it's got a slightly pitted surface on it. So if that's the look that you're going for, absolutely fine. The reason I use stamping card is because it's in your beginner's bundle, and I wanted to use as much as I could out of that bundle to show you that you can make something just with the bundle. The only thing that I'm going to add to it is a little bit of Cosmic Shimmer texture paste, and this is a sparkle one, which again we had on the last show that I brought it to you and it just flew out. So this is the Aurora one, okay, but any of the colours will go over it. So I'm just going to pop that to one side. We've finished with our ink, pop that to one side, and then we're going to bring in that second stencil now. And again, if we line this one up, let me just work out which way we're on that one, that's it. And you can see again that I can still see that detail through the stencil, but it's more of a highlight. It's not as much as what we had underneath. So I'm going to take my palette knife and some of the texture paste and literally, and again, you can tape it down. If you're just starting out, I would recommend taping it into place.
Well, that's a good point, actually. Donna's just asked, hiya, Crafty Crew. Hi, Donna. So I have a question. What's the spray you can use with stencils to temporarily keep it in place?
You want our stick and spray. I always get them mixed up. Stick and spray, which is the repositionable aerosol. Stick and stay is a permanent one. I always have to think about it before I say it. You want one that's repositionable so that you can peel it on and off. So yes, that would work beautifully as well, but I'm just conscious, as I say, that it's only a fraction, but I've just had to jig it this way a little bit, just because, as I say, there's an element of stretching goes on when you emboss or when you die cut the cardstock. It happens with any.
So funny, Jan, I didn't realise they were both called different things, stick and stay and stick and spray. And then I found out one was permanent, one was repositionable. And I remember saying to Lizzie Curtis, I think, when I went to Crate & Craft, why didn't they just call one Stick and Stay and the other one something else? And she said, that's exactly what they've done. This one's Stick and Stay, this one's Stick and Spray.
I know, and then the Stick Away.
And then there's Stick Away as well, yeah. You'll find a whole range of adhesives or spray adhesives and spray products over on our website, so go and have a look on those. For US customers, some of them we don't ship to the US, but some of them are stocked by HSN. So any you can't find, might be worth popping over to the HSN website and seeing if you can see them over there. It's like buttering toast, this, Jan, isn't it?
It is. I've just taken some of the excess off the stencil because I don't want to waste the product. But when we lift this off, can you see how? Let me just tip it so that you can see it a little bit better. But you can see how this is actually catching the light there. That is gorgeous.
It's like they've got like soft dew on them, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. And I just think it just, you know, you could have done it with another coloured ink. You could have taken it a wee bit darker with the ink. But I just think that little bit of shimmer on there just adds just something different. And again, it's that touchy-feely when you give it to someone. It's like, oh, what's that on there? So I've literally done exactly that at home. You can see that we're on the same page. I've just added a couple of gems, but obviously I need it to dry. The texture paste will take about 30 minutes or so to air dry. You can, again, do it with your heat tool, but I do prefer these to stay dry by themselves. So I'm just going to leave that to one side, and we'll use this one. And then I'm going to pop it together as a card for you. Now the stencil itself, and just before it dries, I'm just going to take some of that excess off. If you're at home, you can actually just pop this in a little bowl of warm water and then wash them all later. But obviously here in the studio, things dry faster than I would like. So I don't want it to dry on my stencil. So I'm just going to clean that excess off there, and then I'll come back to it in a second. Okay. Right, so as far as cards concerned then, all I've done is I've actually created a long card this time and I started out with this as sizing, and this one actually measures 8 1/4, which is the width of our A4 here in the UK, by 6 1/4. All right, and then I've used some of our glitter card stock, taken the centre out to use this for another project. Don't like wasting my glitter card stock. And then we're going to mat and layer that one just to give us a little border there. So I think, yeah, I've already got the tape on the back here. So
Debbie said we had a game last week where we had to basically answer the questions. And one of the questions was, who is the best organised crafter out of everyone? And I'm sorry, I feel like I'm going to have to come clean with this now, Jan. I actually said Craig.
Did
and I
you?
was wrong. Debbie says that you are the most organised crafter out there. And everyone else agreed. So,
really?
Yeah. Sorry for doubting you.
It comes from all those years of planning at school. It's you can't not be organised when you've got a classroom full of 30 children waiting for you.
Was it big ones or little ones you taught?
Little ones.
Okay.
But even so, you couldn't sort of think, oh, hang on, what we're going to do now, when they're all sat there looking at you. So yeah, maybe it's all sort of inbred from there. It's all trained into me. So again, literally just pop that one down. I popped a little bit of wet glue on the back, ready to pop it down. Whoops, got it all over now because I've caught my card there, but it is all purpose, so it will just wipe off there.
Awesome.
Okay, and then I'm going to pop a little bit more round the back of the frame.
Aisha's saying she is so good, she being Jan. I've learned so much already and I'm only 20 minutes in.
Oh,
that
bless.
is the point of a craft class.
I do like to share what I've learned with people. There's no fun in keeping it to yourself, is there? It's not a secret.
No.
I want you guys to be able to use the products and be able to make, and you know, some of the things I've seen on Facebook, you guys do a fantastic job with the products. You all know what you're doing out there. I know there was a lot of people that crafted along with us last week, have posted pictures. They looked absolutely fabulous when we did the double Z fold last week.
Nice. You said you got craft along on Thursday, Jan?
Yes, we're going to use the new creator card, the delicate creator cards,
nice.
I think. Yes, so
That's
my job when I get home tonight. When I start tomorrow, that's the next job, is to get that all ready.
Oh, so keep an eye on Jan's social media then for details on that a little later in the week. And you're doing cartload this week as well, Jan?
I am. Oh, I can't wait. I haven't done cartload for ages.
Nice.
Honestly, I can't wait.
That'll be you and Ben then for
I think so, yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Make sure you join the guys for that.
Now then, I'll tell you a secret here, because you know.
Is it real? Is it actually a secret?
Well, I'm going to share it with
sometimes
you.
people say, I'll tell you a secret, and then they tell you the secret, and you think, I kind of knew that
Well,
already.
people won't know this, so it maybe
Brilliant.
was a secret, but even we make mistakes, because I measured all my card out, and I thought, what on earth have you done, Jan? This is not the right, I've obviously measured it wrong, because I'd got a chunk here at the bottom.
Okay, this is a secret,
So
Jan.
the choices were to either cut it off and make it fit, which is what I had planned originally. And I thought, actually, I've actually got my swash stamps, which again, I know a lot of you have got in your stash, and they just lent themselves, look, to fill it. So it was almost as if it was planned, wasn't it? But it was a happy accident.
A happy, just
It
a series
was a
of happy accidents.
accident. Georgina's saying you didn't even have to say anything. But no, I want you to know that, you know, I make mistakes, and this is a lot of the way that we find out how things work. So we're literally just going to pop that one across the bottom, and it just fit nicely in that little gap. And then I've made another piece to come down the side, and I've popped some yellow. The yellow's a bit bright. It wasn't the best match, but it was the only yellow that I'd got, so we've had to run with it. But they all tone in nicely together. So I'm just going to pop this one down the side to finish off that spine. And I do like this kind of card. What I've done is I've just scored it at 1 inch in so that it opens against the score line there. And then just last minute to finish it off, I've just tied a little bow with some of the ribbon that was left. And I'm just going to pop that, whoops, stay there you, on that edge just to finish it. And there's a little gem to match what I've put on the top. So again, just using that 3D stencil, but using it in a different way, and just adding some of those cosmic shimmer products on there as well, because I know you've all been buying them.
Yes,
there
absolutely.
we go.
Really, really beautiful first project there, Jan. I do love that. Should we have a look, see where everyone's tuning in from today? So loads of people saying hello to us. Teresa is in Long Island saying Happy Mother's Day to all the ladies stateside celebrating today. It's very wet and cold in Edinburgh, unfortunately, according to Caroline, but you do have great fudge and great shortbread, so that kind of makes up for it, Caroline, I think. Nancy saying hi from Shanahan. Wow, I've never heard of that. Nancy, where is a wet and cold Shanahan? Do let me know. Tammy is saying good morning from South Dakota as well, and hi to all the US mums. Kathy is here saying happy Mother's Day to everyone as well. Charlotte also wishing everyone a very, very happy Mother's Day. Lynn's here, I can see. Karen, Aisha as well. Karen says, really lovely comment. Jan, you are the most amazing lady. You're an amazing artist. Thank you for sharing your talents with us.
Oh, thank you.
Let me just recap exactly what you're getting in that starter kit. I think if you've not tried this kind of thing before, this is obviously going to be an awesome starting point for you. 2 different styles of stencils in here. So you've got the 3D embossing folder, which is then coming with the 2 layering stencils, which is awesome. That is your precious poppies. Not easy to say that, is it? What we've also got in there as well is this layering stencil. You've got 3 stencils in there, and it's called Sweet Love. Sweet, sweet love. And then what you're getting is you're going to get the honey pot pigment ink, you're going to get the round blending tool, the craft mat, which kind of does the same job as the glass mat, but you can roll it up and put it away, which is handy. You can also tape it down if you want to, and you're getting the stamping card in there. The stamping card is awesome for so many different jobs, so that is a really wonderful little starter collection for you there. Now, I want to give you some more information about some of the Cosmic Shimmer products that we've got on the show today. The matte chalk paint that you've just seen Jan use. This is it here, Azure. These are the swatches, basically. That is not what you're receiving. I thought there was nothing on there for a moment. Now I get it. We've also got it in the honeysuckle as well, which is that colour there for you, which is awesome. And we've got the orchid. Oh, it's deep, isn't it, the orchid? It's really lovely. $3.75, $6.75 per pop. We then have the Shy Violet. Really nice. Kind of almost a bit lavendery, that one, isn't it? Really kind of pared back and a little bit muted, which is nice. We've also got some of the Opal Blaze. Now, I was a little magpie before the show, was looking through the product box and saw these, and they are absolutely gorgeous. £5 for this, or $8.99. If you want it in Sunset Orange as well, we do have it available in the Sunset Orange for you too, which is this one just here, which is gorgeous. One more for you. The textured paste in the frosted mink. Texture paste, such an awesome, versatile product. If you want to see, there's so many products in this show, hit the Shop the Show button on the homepage. or search for Cosmic Shimmer on the website and you will see loads and loads of awesome products from Cosmic Shimmer over there. It's really lovely to be working closely with Creative Expressions to bring you all of these brilliant products. Let me share with you and take you through. I'm just going to ask Jan about these first, because Jan, a stamp and a stencil together doesn't really sound like a kind of, not the obvious choice of two products to bundle, really, is it? Why do these work though? Because they do, don't they?
They do work, and again, you know, I mean, you know that deep down I'm a stamper, Joe, but to have the stencils to go with them, you've sort of got an instant background to start off with. There are lots of other things that you can do with them, but you can create a background and then stamp. You know, you were just asking me about the chalk paint, whether you could stamp over the top of it. Would work perfectly. So you could use the chalk paint through the stencils, and then you could do your stamping over the top of it with a permanent ink. It would look great. But yeah, really nice mix and match effect there with them.
Brilliant. They are great to use, and they've always been very popular when we've bought them to you in the past. Let me take you through what you're getting here as well. You save 40% on these, which is an excellent price for you. So you've got Make-A-Wish, which is these ones here. So of course your stencil, and then everything you've got to be able to stamp, and then together, this is the effect that you get. So you've got Make-A-Wish. You then also have Life's a Journey. Wonderful for travel scrapbooks, that one. This one here is It's Time. Got a little bit of a steampunk vibe to that one, which is lovely. Back to Nature there, really lovely for autumnal projects. Remember, you're getting all of the stamps in there too that you need. This one is Life Happens. This one also could be a little steampunky. Loving that brickwork in there. This one here is your Write Your Own Story. So you've got alphabets in here. Love the splodges that you've got on there too. Happiness Blooms has got the lovely floral elements with the trellis. They all have the different sentiments and embellishing stamps as well. This one historically has been your favourite out of this collection actually, and it's the music and lyrics. So lots of different style also across there. A really good variation on the styles of the stamps and stencils that you're getting. You get all of them as well. Brilliant price for you. Club Inspired Platinum members, you actually save substantially more than you spend here, because you can get them for $24.60 or $31.50 as a Club Inspired Platinum member, which I think is absolutely awesome. Not a lot of stock of it. If you want it, I would be quick for that. I don't remember seeing that at a better price, so I would...
As well, Joe, is like we've grouped them in categories, but you can mix and match them. You might use the stencil from one packet with the stamps from another packet, so there's no reason why you can't mix and match with them as well.
Fantastic, great point. Yes, do snap those up. They are an awesome, awesome collection. Next up, we have got the shape words. Now, you guys have loved this collection. See what I did there? Oh yeah. What these do for you is they cut out. So it's a die that is going to cut for you the matte layer and the topper. So it gives you essentially a shaped card, and then it also then gives you the topper on there as well. So you've got love, you've got happy, you also have thanks, you've got friend in here too, and you've got hello, which is that one just there. Then what we give you as well is stencils to go with them. Now, I think what's wonderful about these stencils is, yes, they're going to work beautifully with the shaped dies. They're also going to work fantastically on their own. So you've got the hearts. You've also got this one here, which is upside down. It is the leaves stencil. We then have the circles stencil, zigzag, and stars. So definitely snap those up. That's not all you get, because what you also get in here too are awesome sentiments that you're going to go with that. And again, use the dies on their own, use the stamps on their own, use the stencils on their own, use them all together, mix and match them. There's so many different things that you can do with those. A lot of love for this show. Renee saying, Jan has inspired me. I'm doing a mixed media project right now. Pam's loving the new techniques. Gwen says, what a great save there with the mismeasurement, Jan. Also, Dieta saying beautiful card. Patty loved the layout. Mariah says, got to get back to work. I've saved this to watch later. And Jane actually is saving all of your mixed media classes and is going to have like a little bank of mixed media shows to inspire her, which I think is great. And Valerie says, good morning. Sunny here in Arizona, but nothing new there. Ha ha ha, crying laughing face. All right, rub it in, Valerie. Why don't you? Right, what would you like to take us through next, Jan?
shape words. Joe, I love these. Really different. And again, you can use them to make the shape cards, but also you can put that wording on the front of a card itself. It can go on a scrapbook page. So again, lots of versatility. I'm going to show you the actual concept as it was designed on this one. And I've chosen the word thanks for this one. Now, we've actually got with these a selection of stencils as well. So I've got the scattered dots to go with this one. And again, we'll all mix and match. So just because on the inspiration on the packaging here we've used the dots doesn't mean to say that you couldn't use the word thanks, put the stars on it, or put the little leaf sprigs on it. You know, again, it all mixes and match. So I'm going to get the stencil out ready. We need that one later. And then the metal work in here, you get an outside piece, which is like your mat and layer, but your means of creating the card itself. And just to have a little nosy at this, if you can, we get our George to zoom in there. I'll just hold it steady for you.
Here he comes.
He's coming, look. You can see along this top edge here, there are breaks in the cutting line. So we've got a gap here, I've got a gap here, all the way along the top of the letters. And it's just got a score line in it. So this means when we pop it on the fold in our card, it's going to allow us to create a top fold card with that word thanks on the front. So what I mean by that, I've just literally cut some of that white stamping card. And in your packet, you also get a little instruction grid as well. Now it's recommending cutting a piece of card that measures 9 inches by 8 inches. And scoring it halfway at 4. Now that is for the longest word, obviously. Some of the other words, like the other demo I'm going to do for you is love, which is slightly shorter, so you can cut this slightly shorter, but just use your die as a guideline to see how long it needs to be. So what we're going to do is we're going to stick this down and we're going to pass it through the machine to cut out the actual card itself, the card blank. So I'm going to line this up with the top edge of that fold. So my fold's here on the top like a tent fold, and I'm going to literally line this up. I'm going to look from the back to make sure that the fold line is level with that score line on the back of the die. So I've actually got just a fraction of the die popping out above the top of the card there. And then once you've got that lined up in place, you can stick it down. Okay, so I'll make sure that it stays. You want this to stay in place when you cut it. So again,
Awesome.
that side, just to make sure everything's lined up, and then stick it in place. And then I'm going to pop this through double. Our Gemini will cut through both layers of that together. And then the second part of your stencil is almost like that was, if you imagine that was your layer, you've got your little worded mat to go on top of it. So I want to cut an extra one of those out, and this is just a single piece of cardstock. And I will explain why I'm doing that in a second. And we're going to take that one down. And I just happen to have, because we're lucky working here, a spare one. I've got a second one. Just got a couple of bits in there. And I need a black one as well. So I've cut a piece of our black cardstock, and I'm going to pop that one through. I'm hoping that these, we might get them all on together. I might have to do 2 passes. We'll have a look. I've got my large Gemini at the ready, and I've got my plates there. Whoops. Clang. Pick that up in a second.
What was it, Jan?
I don't know. I think it was
Something with a lid on, hopefully.
the mini, I think, that's just
right.
decided to fall over. How are we going to manage that? Let me have a think. No, I want to put that one that way, that one that way, and yeah, I'm not going to risk it. I'll run
If you were
those
at home,
through.
would you risk it, Jan?
It's only just.
I'm not saying you should, by the way,
Yeah.
just in case.
The only trouble is, I mean, yeah, obviously this is made to fill the A4 platform, but I'm actually slightly over, and
Okay.
anything that's not trapped in the plates is not going to cut.
Right.
So rather than risk it only partial cutting, I'm going to do the work on these 2 first, and then we'll pop the other one through. So they are just thin metal dies, and even though I've got a double layer of stamping card in there, we should be able to get through both layers. So we'll pop that one through first. And then I'm going to do some stenciling on the actual card itself. And then we're going to do some work on the lettering to go over the top. So the stenciling on this one's in the background. The one I've got to do for you later, the stenciling is actually on the lettering. So I wanted to show you both ways. So I'm going to take those 2 out, show you what I mean with these 2. flick my plate over, and I'll pop that one through just while we're talking. So I just want another layer of that one. So when we take this one off, just take that tape off. Whoops. Be gentle, Jan. Like a bull in a china shop there. I'm just conscious that they're going to flick out any minute. I don't want them to fall on the floor. There we go. I'll grab that one in a second. So again, when you actually take this one off here and then just take these little bits out of the fold, those are waste. But you can see now how we've got that lined up beautifully on that fold. So it's kept the fold intact, but we've got the outline of that word thanks there at the ready. All right, so it's almost like a bubble of the word, isn't it? I used to do that bubble writing when you were younger where everything was joined up. It reminds me of that. So that bit's rubbish, we don't need that bit. And then I cut just the wording in black. So that's that one. And again, lovely font. Nice and easy to read there. So that bit's
like the
rubbish.
Hollywood sign, I always think.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. Get rid of the bits. So this is actually going to fit perfectly now on here. And it's all the work's been done for you so that you've got that lovely outline that's even all the way around. I mean, I wouldn't even know where to start actually trying to cut that out by myself without a die. It would need a lot of thinking about. And then in here, I've cut another white
and no one wants a wonky thanks, do they?
Nobody wants a wonky thanks.
No,
you certainly don't want.
You're either grateful or
you don't want
not.
a wonky friend either, Joe.
No, oh, I've got quite a few of those, let me assure you. I think I've been that wonky friend on a few occasions recently as well.
Oh dear. Right, so that one can go back over there. I'm not even going to ask.
Well,
now
pubs
then, the
reopened on the
reason-
12th is all I'm saying, Jan. Obviously drink responsibly, don't spill it, that's what I say.
What I'm actually going to do, this one is, in fact, I've cut the wrong piece. That's because I'm getting too giddy. I wanted another piece of this. So I will recut that in a second. What I want to do is stencil on the top of here. But rather than actually go on the card blank, I wanted to do it on a separate piece and stick it on, just so that it gives it a little bit of substance with because I'm going to put paint on it. So bear with me, I need a bit more cardstock because I've just cut the wording when I needed the actual bubble. So I was getting a bit giddy with myself. I've got an extra thanks now. So I actually need this bit. Okay. Let me just cut that. And then I'll show you what I mean. Okay, pop that to one side, and I just want to pop that bit through.
So you're doing the outline, but as a single sheet.
As a single, that's right, Joe. Yeah, I'm not doing the fold on it because I just want the one layer. All right, so I was going to say we'll risk it, but bearing in mind, things are not going to plan. Maybe I should stick it down so that it doesn't decide to slide off. And then we'll put those plates back on, and we'll pop it through again. Right, so rewind. I've got one already done, but I want to show you how I've done it.
Of course.
So what I've got then to work with is these are match-up paints now, so they are literally a paint, whereas the previous one was a polish. Slightly different texture with them, but you're still going to get that lovely matte finish with these, and again a gorgeous range of shades in these. This one's Azure Mist, okay, which we've got on the show today, and it's like a sort of blue-grey colour. So I thought this was actually, when it was finished, it's quite a masculine, got quite a masculine look to it, this one. So any of you that are wanting to make cards for the guys, so I'm just going to take that off there, and then what we need to do, because this, remember I said there was no cutting edge along the top here, I'm literally just going to take my scissors, and where that score line is, I'm just going to cut down here because I want to free this out of the cardstock. So I'm using the score line as a guide there, just to snip it out because I want this as a separate layer. Now you could work straight onto your card blank if you wish, but obviously we're going to put a wet product onto it, and it can sometimes warp the card when you start working with with products that have got moisture, got water content in them. So by doing it on a separate piece, I can then stick this over the top of my card blank because it's been cut with the same die. This will actually fit right over the top of this one, and
Perfect.
It won't matter then if we've got a little bit of warping going on that top layer. So I'm going to work on two elements. We're going to look at this one first, and we're going to work with that stencil. So I'm literally just going to pop it straight over the top. I need some kind of applicator, which is going to be one of our foam applicators. So just the little sponges that you're used to. And I'm going to use this for the paint, just the same. Okay. And then I'm going to take a little bit of the paint out onto my mat, onto my glass mat. Again, if you've got the craft mat, you can work straight onto there. And again, it's lovely and creamy, but when it's dry, I just love the finish, the texture on the finish on chalk paint. I don't know what it is about it. And again, what we're going to do is pick this up and work it into that sponge applicator. Okay, let me just bring it across a bit so that you can see what I'm doing there. And then literally pounce through that stencil. So I want this all over that wording that we've cut out. So just...
What sort of surfaces can we use chalk paint onto? I know you're using cardstock here,
You
Jan.
can go straight onto MDF with it.
Oh, nice.
So it will work on that. If you're working with any sort of heavy duty sort of mount board, anything like that, it will go straight onto that. It wants to be able to be onto a porous surface.
Okay.
If you've got a non-porous, such as anything glass, obviously it's just going to sit on the top like it is doing on my mat. So you need something that's porous.
Could you gesso over something that's not porous and then put the chalk paint over that? You know, like if you had, what am I trying to think of? If you had something like, I don't know, charms or something like that, I don't know. Just thinking out loud.
I think what I would do in that case, Joe, is actually probably mix the paint with something that I know would stick.
Yes,
so possibly a little bit of tacky glue, or if you've got one of the Cosmic Shimmer glazes.
Yep.
So something that you know's got some tack in it, and just mix a little bit in with the paint so that it's got, because obviously the paint doesn't have an adhesive in it as such.
Okay.
So, and it is water based.
Right.
So it's not gonna, it's just sliding about on the top of my glass mat there. But if you actually mixed it with something that had an adhesive in it,
then maybe it would go on.
it should actually stick a little bit better.
Awesome, thanks for that.
Just a bit. If you put too much in, it's going to dilute it, and obviously that's going to affect your colour.
Yes.
So it just wants to be a little bit, just to give you that effect, to sort of add some stickiness to it, for want of a better. So I think we've got all the bits. I'm just having a look through there. I could go on forever. You get the idea with it. And then when we lift this one off, you can see you've got those lovely
Love that, Jan.
spotty dotties going on there.
Really gorgeous.
And again, the chalk paint dries really quickly. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that to one side for a second. And again, like I said, because we're working with water-based things, I can just give my...
Have you got your world famous cloth with you?
Of course I have, Joe. My world
There it
famous...
is.
My bit of...
Jan's world famous cloth.
Have you not seen my grubby cloth? Oh my goodness. Used to be, do you know, I've got the fan on and all I'm doing is eating my
your
hair
hair.
because it's blowing across here.
You're like Celine Dion over there with the wind machine.
Yeah, it used to be a pillowcase in a former life.
Right.
And obviously, rather than throw it away, it's been chopped up, and bless it, it covers everything. So there we go, look, and that's the beauty of working on either your glass mats or your craft mats, because it just cleans it all up. Again, same with your stencil. I would just grab a little bit of paper towel, kitchen towel there. If I was at home, I'd be popping this into some water again.
Okay.
The best way to clean your stencils is to just drop them into some warm soapy water, let them soak for a little while, and then just give them, I use an old little scrubbing brush just to scrub them.
Yeah.
But obviously here in the studio, the lights dry everything so quickly. So I just want to get some of that surplus off there with a baby wipe so that it doesn't dry on too hard. If you do this onto another piece of cardstock, you could actually create yourself
I love that.
more background, so you could actually pop that onto another piece of cardstock there. So we'll leave that bit to one side. Now while that's drying, we want to actually work on the black layer as well. And again, I'm going to bring another one of those products in now. So we keep introducing bits of the Cosmic Shimmer products. So this time we've got Glitter Kiss.
Jan, stop the show.
Honestly.
Just stop the show.
Glitter Kiss, Joe. You're going to love this.
In a former life, I want to come back as Glitter Kiss.
Let me just open it and show. Are you ready for this, Joe? Just look in here. Honestly.
Oh,
absolutely gorgeous. So again, we have a water-based medium that's got the colour inside it, and then it's also got glitter in it. And this one is your Midnight.
Okay.
Now, Midnight, I expected it to be black. But when I actually had a play with it, it's almost got an aurora effect running through the glitter. And it's a really, really dark blue colour. So you can see in there where you've got the blue coming through. And then the aurora sparkle in the glitter, which you'll see when we pop it on. And again, all these pots are actually the same idea. So in the top there, you've got your applicator at the ready to use. So what I want to do on the black layer then, I'm going to come from the bottom of the wording, and I just want to give this a little bit of a kiss with this product. And again, just load it up from the side of your pot. I'm using the edge of the pot just to brush off any surplus, because you don't need loads of it.
So we do have it available, Jan, on the show, but we've got it in the Chrome and the Midnight. So you'll be able to do exactly the same thing with the Chrome and the Midnight.
Yeah, this is Midnight.
Oh, that is Midnight?
Yeah.
Sorry. I thought you said it was, I thought I heard something else, sorry.
Yeah, this one's Midnight. Yeah, that's why I picked it, Joe.
Oh.
It comes in lots and lots of different colours, but I thought I'd pick the one that was on the show. So all I'm doing is literally...
Said neon for some reason. I don't know
Neon?
why. I've obviously got cloth ears today.
Neon? No.
Neon, no.
I said that the glitter was Aurora, sparkle in it. But literally all I'm doing is from the bottom of my black wording, I just want to come about halfway up with this. And again, you can put one layer on, let it dry, and again it takes seconds to dry. It doesn't take long at all. And then once it's dry, you can actually build up. So the more you put on, the more sparkle you will get. So depending on the depth of how much sparkle you want, you know, you can let it dry and put a third coat on if you wish, and it will build it up. And this works on any cardstock, so you could actually do it on white card and create your own glitter card with it. But again, the more you put on, the more on here. Okay, so it all fits together beautifully. And again, just that little bit of housekeeping, just making sure that you've not got any product around the edge of your... I just find it helps it easier. It doesn't stick together. So when these are new, obviously this is actually sealed, and all you need to do is just, you'll feel it click. I tend to hold the jar, put both of my thumbs against it and push, and you can hear that click.
Right.
All right, so it just clicks out of place.
Perfect.
And then you can lift it in and out, and then it goes back and it clicks back in again there. So they're really nice and easy to use, and as I say, a fabulous range of colours in them as well. So let's just lift that one off and get rid of all that bit off there. And as I say, they're all water-based, so they all play nicely with each other. And that's what I love about this range, because anything that's water-based, you know, you've got all those options to work with.
I can see that shine on there.
So again, I was just going to bring this up for you now.
I could
so
even see it just with you holding it to the
Yeah.
side of the camera there, but it really is awesome, isn't it?
So this one's still just a fraction wet there, but if I actually lift it a bit higher up for you to see there, you get that aurora in it. It's beautiful.
Gorgeous.
And just on the black there, it looks stunning. So again, I got the one that I did earlier at home that's dry. And I've done exactly the same. The only thing I've done is I've cut 2 layers of black and stuck them together, because you can see this one's a little bit flimsy, whereas I've got something here that's a bit more robust with the 2 layers. And I've done the same. I've brought that up on the top, and then I've just been going mad with all the Cosmic Shimmer products. It's like, it's just sort of like having a goodie box full of things. But we've also got on the show the 3D pearl accents.
Nice.
And this is actually like a PVA glue that's coloured. So you actually get to create your little pearl embellishments with these, and they dry raised in the little dome. So all you would do with that one, let's pop it on here. I've got, let's have a look, Titanium and
Nice.
Frosted Sky, which I think are both on the show. I tried to go for the ones that were on the show for you, but literally all you would do, wherever you decide you want to pop, you think about if you were going to pop gems on it, and then you're just going to squeeze gently a little blob out, and then just lift it away. And then you can go bigger or smaller. If you wanted a really big one, just squeeze out more product. So you can actually get them in, you know, sort of degrees of sizes.
That's really cool. I love
and
that.
they will dry. They take about, I would say, a good 30 minutes or more to be touch dry. So what I tend to do with anything like this is wait sure that I've finished the project, pop these on, and then I'll leave it somewhere safe to go, maybe go and do something else
Away
or go and
from
have
the cat.
tea. Yeah, certainly away from the cat or the dog, whatever, or my little grandson. Do you know, bless
How
him.
is he?
He's growing like crazy, he really is. But my craft room is in my conservatory. So there's a big patio door on the inside between the conservatory and the dining room. And obviously it stands on the glass like this. He is dying to get in there. So yes, I think as he gets older, there's going to be a little crafter in the house, I must admit.
Absolutely.
And then this one's exactly the same. And I've done a little bit in the grey, and then you've got more of a pearl. The frosted sky is more of like a pearl. So if you wanted to substitute this for your pearls that you buy on the sticky sheets, works beautifully. So that's that one. So we've got the bits that we're going to start sticking together. So what I did with the one at home for this one, you can see I've done exactly the same. And then I just went round the outside with our topaz.
Okay.
From the Water Reactive Ink range. Is a perfect match for that chalk paint. So I've literally just gone round the edge to give it a little bit of definition. So let's pop this together then and actually make it into a card. So what I want to do is stick this one onto the back of the, on the front of the card blank. And as I say, you could do the stenciling straight onto the card blank. I just chose to go for another layer. I just wanted to give it, as I say, when you're working with those wet products, just to give it a bit more substance and to stop that card from warping. So again, I'm just going to pop that one straight over the top. Because it's been die cut, they match beautifully on there. So that's my background.
Beautiful.
Okay.
I really love that stenciling technique. I think it looks awesome, Jan.
Yeah, as I say, on the other demo that I'm going to do for you, I'm going to bring the stenciling onto the lettering. So we're going to swap it around. We're actually going to make a bit of a shaker later, Joe.
Oh,
I could not do a show without a shaker for you, could I?
Absolutely.
And then I got a bit giddy with the tape on the back of here, I think. I've got... I obviously didn't want it to get away. I've got plenty of tape going on here.
Loads of people loving this show. Rhonda says, oh, this is a comment I wanted to read out.
Yeah.
Now, I've heard of lots of driving things. You can do many driving things. Renee, though, I didn't realise this. Renee is watching us whilst waiting for drive-in church to start.
Oh, wow.
How
That's
amazing.
a new one.
I know. Renee, let me know where you can go to drive-in church. I know drive-through weddings, obviously, but drive-in church is a new one.
Drive-in, yeah.
Obviously is a, much more COVID safe, I'd imagine. Renee says, I sent him my birthday shaker card for our little neighbour's boy's birthday. They are so much fun to make. Panda's very busy creating as well. Lots of you really loving this show.
So that one just sits on top there. So we've actually got the main part there of our card. And then in that stamp set, you've got lots of different elements that go with the main word. So for example, I've actually stamped out the word with. All right, so I'm going to pop that one on. I'm going to use the tape pen, I think, just to stick that one on the front. I'm going for the double-sided tape pen there. The red line tape's getting a bit friendly. Keeps sticking to me. So on here then, I thought we'd have that one sort of maybe across. It doesn't have to be at the beginning. Okay. My producer's tormenting me now with the idea of foam pads.
Oh, but your foam pads, you and foam pads are friends now, aren't you?
I'm getting there.
Right, okay.
I'm getting there. I just have to make sure I've had a good word with them before we start.
Okay.
So that I have to get my head teacher voice on and not give me any messing while we're on air. And then I've just used one of my dies at home. So I just thought we needed a little star here and there. So I'm going to pop one. And this, again, this is actually some scraps that I'd got on the desk from doing something else. This is the Pacific Centura Pearl, which again is a perfect match for this chalk paint that we use. So you can see how it blends in beautifully with that background.
How gorgeous. Dietta's letting me know that there's a new fast food place opening by her called Dave's Hot Chicken. And they're going to be serving Southern-style fried chicken.
Oh, my
delicious,
goodness,
Dietta.
that's going to make my tummy start rumbling.
Yeah, me too.
I've not had a lot of dinner today. Right, so let's just pop that pin in there, and then when we turn this one round, you can see there that you've got that lovely... And as I say, I think with the colour scheme, it actually has a bit of a masculine feel to it. That I think that would be nice, for a guy. And you've got that lovely Aurora sparkle on there from that midnight glitter kiss.
I love the different colours in the glitters that are in there.
Yeah.
It's a really good It's like the Milky Way of glitter, isn't it? It's really, really lovely. Let's go back and just recap what you're going to get in here. And obviously the amount of different concepts that you can do with these and how you can decorate them is off the chart. That's why I think they've been so extraordinarily busy since we launched them. So you've got love in here. You also have as well the happy. We have got thanks in there too. You've got friend. And you have hello in there. That's not where it ends, of course, because then what you're getting is all of your stencils also. So what you've got in here is you've got the hearts. You also have this one, which is your leaves. Then we have the circles, the zigzag, and you've got the stars in there too. And we're also even including then as well the stamps in here too. In this configuration, I believe you are paying for the dies and getting the rest of it free. I'll double check that. £80.95 or £90.75. If you are a platinum member, £64.76 or £72.60, which is awesome. Now, we are going next to these, and I must say, I think these are absolutely blooming gorgeous because they are massive. Actually, they've got a really lovely modern edge to them. They are our large pattern stencils. I know they launched alongside the Gemini Pro, and I think maybe some people think that you can't get the benefit from these without a Gemini Pro. You absolutely can. They are essentially to be used just as a large stencil. If you did have a Gemini Pro, absolutely you could emboss them through there as well. You don't need to do that to get the best from them. You've got the wood grain here. You've also got the sketched swirls. I love that one, really cool. I don't know why, it's got a bit of a Dali-esque-ness to it. I think that's what it is. This one here is, says a lot about me and Ben, doesn't it? Ben, this reminds Ben of the Riddler. It reminds me of Dali. I think that kind of sums us up. I think.
Just about.
That's a good like yardstick in which you'd measure me and Ben. This one here is dots and spots. Then you're also going to get this one, which is your natural stone. Lots in here for this price. This one is my favourite, the Deco Tiles. I think it's got a very Roaring Twenties vibe to it, which I love. Oh, we're in the Roaring Twenties again now, Jan, aren't we? Moroccan Tile is your next one. Again, absolutely beautiful. Then, of course, you have the Chesterfield leather, which is also beautiful. £47.94 is what you're going to pay for these, which is absolutely brilliant. You can get any two of these for £14 or $17. So if you want to mix and match, then absolutely you can. Now, something else I want to talk about is I think I've broken this. I have broken it. I'll fix that. I'll ask Jan to fix that in a minute. Right, the Best of Crafts nominations are now open, and you can go to crafts-beautiful.com/awards and suggest the people which you'd like to see nominated in which category. So here's some of the ideas of things that you could vote for: best brand, male crafter of the year. I wouldn't canvass for votes, obviously, but if you wanted to vote for me, then I can't stop you doing that. Jan, I'm sure, would feel the same. So you can go and obviously vote for lots of different people. It would really mean a lot. I think the big one that we would love is Craft Brand of the Year and Best Craft Channel of the Year. They're the hot categories, aren't they? All of the other ones, I don't think we're that fussed about them, but if you could vote for us in those two categories, because some people, when it comes to awards season, Jan, they're very humble, aren't they? And they don't go out and say, I really want you to vote for me. No. I'm not that person.
Are you not?
If I get nominated, I will be asking every single one of you to vote for me. I will be setting up 8,500 new email addresses and voting for myself. I won't go that far, but I will go quite far. Anyway, I know a lot of you got very full baskets at the moment, so I will give you an opportunity to check yourself out. Whilst you do that, here's all the details of Club Inspire.
Welcome to Club Inspire, our free loyalty club. As a member of the club, you can save up to 20% every time you shop with us. For every £1 you spend, whether it's in one of our stores or on our website, you'll collect 1 loyalty point. The more points you have, the more benefits you'll receive. As a welcome present, we'll give you 20% discount with your very first order. Once you place your first order, you'll be given 250 points straight away, making you a bronze member. This will mean that you'll receive a 5% discount on all of your purchases until the end of the next calendar year, plus priority postage. 500 points takes you up to silver membership, where you'll get 10% discount plus free shipping when you spend over £20. When you get to 750 points, you'll become a gold member, which gets you a whopping 15% discount on every order, and we'll ship them to you completely free, no matter how big or small they are. Spend over £25 and we'll send them to you via our premium next day delivery courier service. When you reach 1500 points, you'll become a platinum member, giving you the same shipping benefits as a gold member, but with the added bonus of a massive 20% discount on all of your purchases. Now on top of that, you'll receive exclusive discounts, sneak peeks of brand new products, special offers and money saving vouchers. You'll have access to an exclusive secret Facebook group to meet like-minded friends, to find out information first and to be inspired by all the crafty makes. Become a member of our club today.
Absolutely, do become a member of the club because it's going to unlock the deepest discounts for you. I was just saying to Jan in the break, there'll be no humbleness for us to get nominated. There will be, you know, targeted marketing everywhere. There will be flyers. I'll be going up and down the streets in Newton Aycliffe, popping them. There'll be flags, t-shirts, the works, memes, GIFs, TikToks, honestly. Anyway, enough about that. Let us recap for you the amazing stamps and stencils. This is a background a background stencil with a focal stamp. The great thing is, as Jan rightly pointed out earlier, going for the big collection on these is awesome because you will be able to mix and match them, which is brilliant. So what you've got in here is the Make-A-Wish, which is this one just here. You then have this one, which is your Life is a Journey. Great for all things travel themed. It's Time, which is nice. Again, that could be quite steampunky. This one here with the leaves. Now, I say this could be autumnal, but I think you could really go with some bright pops of colours in there. Oh, that might be what's happening. We are so in sync today, Jan, aren't we?
You're certainly tuned in, Joe.
I'm tuning in, absolutely. Life happens. This one, love the cogs and the bricks there. You've got write your own story. I think the splodges work so well in that as a background. Happiness blooms here with the floral elements. And you've also got music and lyrics in there as well. 30.75, 39, 38 is your price there on those. And you've got a 40% saving, 24.60 or 31.50 for platinum members. That means you save more than you spend there, which is absolutely brilliant. We were talking about it earlier, Jan. I know I said that, you know, maybe not necessarily something you automatically put together, but they do work so well, don't they? The stamps with the stencils in there.
Yeah, they've been thought out really well. And as I say, we've grouped them in sort of themes, but there's nothing to stop you swapping those out and using them. You know, if you've got that whole collection, you can literally swap them out and use them as you wish. Now, I've chosen the Back to Nature one, funnily enough, Joe, and because of the products that I wanted to use, I've moved away from those autumnal colours altogether because, again, I've kept drip feeding in those Cosmic Shimmer products, and I'm going to bring in some of the Pixie Sparkles.
Oh,
now,
yes.
we did have both of these colours, but I'm not sure whether they're both still available. I've got the Pale Blush and I've got the Purple Affair. So we're going to use a mixture of those, and I'm going to show you how the Purple Affair is actually sold out, but I can show you how they work if you've not come across them before. And that's why I've gone for pink and purple in my actual design. And I thought, bit sort of out there, but it works. So we'll try it, and it works. So in your pack then, you're going to get the stencil itself, and this has got an element of wood grain on, which you would expect. It's not the easiest to see there. You see it there?
Yeah.
So you've got that wood grain, which, you know, Back to Nature you would expect, and you've got all those beautiful leaves. Now, you can use these, you can stencil them and cut them out. You could use part of it. You could actually do it on half of your card and then move it so that you've got a full set of leaves, or the same with the wood grain. You could just move it up and you could actually stencil the whole wood grain. Now, I'm actually going to use it as it is. So I've cut a piece of stamping card again, and I really wish that we'd change the name on this because it does work for so many different techniques other than just stamping. Wanted something smooth again. And what I'm going to do, I've cut it 6 by, no not 6, they're 5 inches. No they're not, 6 inches square. So I've cut it 6 by 6, the same size as the stencil. And then I'm just going to use a little piece of the low tack tape on the stencil there, just to make like a little hinge so that I can actually check as I'm going along how it's looking underneath, and I know it's going to go back down in the same place. And then with that you also get a gorgeous set of stamps in each one that are themed to go with it. So you have some more of the leaves here plus a couple of really nice sentiments, so we're going to use those as well. So what I've actually taken for this bit then, I've got a mixture of inks. I've actually taken the opaque ink in Pink Tulip and Crushed Velvet, which is where these two, they sort of, I've picked colours that match the Pixie Sparkles, which we'll come to in a second. And then I also wanted something for the wood, and I've gone for Sandstone, but I've got the water reactive because I find that the pigment inks are just a slight shade lighter, and it was a little bit too light for this, so I wanted it a bit darker. Okay, so let's have a look then. I'm going to go first with the pink. So let's take that one out, whoops. And I'm going to go through the leaves at the top. Now you might think, well, I've never seen any pink leaves, Jan, but it's creative license. There is no sort of right and wrong.
I don't think there's anything. Oh, Jan, I don't think there's anything that can't be pink, Jan,
no.
in my book.
No. So, you know, if you want pink leaves, I'm saying now you can have pink leaves.
Absolutely. Well,
so,
I bought a rubber plant on Wednesday, Thursday this week. And
yeah.
It's got lovely deep red and pink leaves on it. So
yeah.
There you go, they exist.
I've got a maple tree in my garden, and that's got like a deep red verging into like a wine colour, the leaves on it. Beautiful. I think this is the maple leaf on here. So let's just have a look. And I'm literally just popping this through, and I want to cover the whole thing at the top with the pink. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of purple to give it some dimension. So again, you can go around in circles, you can just pounce it in, brush it in. Again, just be mindful of where the stencil's got those little delicate pieces in, because you don't want them to break any bits off there. So literally, I tend to follow which way, you know, the leaves are going. So that bit's got pieces on the stencil going sideways, and tend to follow the direction of that. So you can build it up, you know, the more layers you put on, the more depth of colour you're going to get with it. So we'll just do that little bit on there. I think we've got all of those covered there. And then what I want to do is swap the pink for the Crushed Velvet, and I'm just going to change my little sponge applicator there for the purple one. Now I don't want a lot of this, I'm just going to take a little bit, tap off the excess on the glass mat, and then at the bottom of the leaves I'm just going to brush in a little bit of the purple, just as if they're a bit darker at the bottom. So again, there's no real skill involved, it's just a case of getting that ink on there. And the beauty of working with the inks is that you can blend them together. So once we've got the purple in place, I'm going to go back to the pink and just blend it out. So in the bottom part of all the leaves, I've just added a little bit of the purple.
That's what they have, a little bit of sort of, they're slightly variegated, aren't they, a lot of leaves?
Yeah, they are, yeah. So we'll move that one, and then just, I'm not really putting any more ink on that one. I'm just going to go over the top again and just blend that purple in. Where it's a little bit patchy in places, it'll just blend in there with the, and because we created that little hinge, we can sort of have a look now at how we're getting on. So you can see there, we've just got that variegated look there with the two lots of ink. And then I'm going to come down to the bottom section and bring in that Sandstorm. So let's just swap that one out for a brown one. And again, collect some ink. And this one, I'm just going to hold it with my cloth so that I don't get covered in pink. Again, just work it through your stencil so that you've got that wood grain effect coming through there with the ink. And you can see it picking up. It's I'm just following the lines down, just a little bit of pressure on there to push that sponge applicator into your stencil. If you prefer to use the little sponge eggs, they would work for applying your inks as well. So the little sponge applicators that we sell, if you've got those. Okay, so again, you can build it up. If you want it darker, just go through again with another layer. You can see where we've got to there. And then when we lift this up now, you can see we've got those two parts of the actual stencil coming together. And it does look a little bit disjointed at the minute, but when we actually make it into a background, into the card, you'll see where I'm going with it. So that's the actual stenciling part. I'm going to pop that to one side for a second. Just give that a spray again. Bring the old cloth out.
Someone was saying earlier in the course, it's the first time they've seen Jan's legendary cloth.
Oh, my legendary cloth, honestly.
There's a lot of talk about food going out and what people are up to in that respect. I think because it's Mother's Day, people are sort of saying what they're up to.
Ah, that's
Rhonda
nice.
says we're not going for breakfast. 1.5 hours wait? I think not. Dieta says I'm making breakfast burritos, sausage, scrambled eggs and cheese in a soft flour tortilla.
Oh, it's going to make my belly rumble.
Yes, please.
Oh.
Absolutely. Karen wants to know, where do we go to nominate for those craft awards? I'll get the. I'll pop it just. We'll pop it just down here for you so you can see.
Yeah.
Awesome. Here it
Right.
comes.
So what I'm going to show you now. Are we ready to? Oh, sorry, Joe.
No, I'm done.
I thought I was cutting
Jan.
you off there.
No, you can cut me off whenever you like, Jan. Honestly, I waffle absolute nonsense most of the time.
I thought you were going to start talking again. Then you know what I was like the other day.
Just talk
You have
over
to just
me if I
rein
get
me in
too
a bit.
much. No, you go for it.
So what I want to show you now then is, if you've not seen these Pixie Sparkles before. So again, Cosmic Shimmer product, but these are actually a powder form that just burst into life. Now, I know we've sold out of the purple one, but I'm going to demo with the purple one because the pink one's very pale. I have used it in my my stamping, and I'll show you what I've done with it, but I'm not sure how well
What are
you'll
these
see
called
it.
again? What are these called again, Jan?
Pixie
Sorry.
Sparkles.
Pixie Sparkles.
Pixie Sparkles.
Okay, we'll just change those details on the bottom of the screen.
Have you
there for
seen these before, Joe?
No, never.
Oh, wait for the. You'll love this.
I know the explosion powders. I love.
Yeah, similar. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is, I've got, again, a bit of stamping card. It will work on watercolour card as well. And I'm just going to spritz it lightly with my water. And then out of here, I'm going to tap on some of the colour.
Jan.
Okay. And you
Wowzers.
don't use much out of here. This is a 30ml container, and you don't use much at all.
Look at that.
And then again, we're going to go with the water reactive.
Oh,
And I'm
yes.
just going for where that powder's landed. And can you see how it's actually splitting the colours as well?
It should be called powder. Is what it should be called.
I can actually see some really sort of dark,
Yes, and blues
almost
in there.
blue in there, because of course your purple is made up of red and blue.
Yeah.
So it's actually, because we're spritzing it, it's actually dragging out some of the colours.
And
You can-
Jamie, who's done these, put
Yeah.
it together, he's just the most talented, but also the loveliest,
He is.
loveliest guy.
He is a nice guy.
Such a nice guy and a talented crafter as well.
And then obviously, once you're happy with it, you can just dry it off.
It looks a bit like alcohol and acetate, doesn't
Yes,
it? when
it
gets
does.
Going?
Yes. You can build it up.
Jan's just pretending to dry it again, there, as you can see.
Listen.
I'll never.
Listen.
It's like mime crafting.
Just,
It just
I'm just
makes me
waving it about for the
laugh.
sake of it. It is working. I challenge any of you to come and put your hand underneath it and then tell me whether it's working or not. Okay? So we've just got a little bit going down the side.
Oh, it gets so lustrous as it's drying.
It does, yeah. It
That
really
is
is. So again,
amazing.
this can be used for backgrounds. You can actually colour a piece of card and then die cut it. It looks great for things like sentiments, if you die cut your sentiments out of it. What I've done is I've actually created a piece using both of the colours. You can see, I'm not going to go with all of it. You can see how it's going. Let me just dab that last little bit. Yeah. Just get rid of that. But again, when you actually pick up the, just
That
look
is
at the
awesome.
lustre on it.
It's almost like
They're
a
just-
lacquer, isn't
Yeah,
it?
they're to die for, honestly.
They are
And again, if you mix
beautiful.
the colours, you get some really, really nice. What I like to do is make a full sheet of it, work on maybe either an A5 or even an A4 piece if you're feeling ambitious, and make a full sheet of it, and then you can use it to create your backgrounds. As I say, you can die cut pieces out of it.
And what
Really
cardstock was that on,
gorgeous.
Jan?
This is just stamping card,
Stamping card.
and it would work just the same on your watercolour card.
Perfect.
Yep.
It's just amazing.
But
And I can't believe just how
absolutely.
much you've still got in there, seeing as you've watered
Gorgeous.
it back as
Yep.
well quite a lot. And
Yep.
you've used, I mean, a very, very small amount of
Tiny
that.
amount out of that actual bottle there, yeah, so it's going to last a while.
I'm not a crafter, Jan, and I want to buy it. It makes me, it's the sort of product that makes me want to get a spritz bottle and some paper and sit at home and just see what I can come up with.
What you
it
could
is
come up with.
amazing. I can make some boxes, I can do that. That's about one of the only things I can do.
So what I actually did, I've actually stepped ahead because obviously it takes a wee bit of time to do this, but I created myself some of this with the pink and the purple together. The pink is a very, very pale colour, and I've actually stamped, I've done this first and then stamped over the top with a waterproof ink. Because this is water based, you want a waterproof ink over the top of it. And then I've actually stamped out some of those little leaves and then cut them out. You can see here where we've got, I've just duplicated them here. And then I've also done the same, but I used ink for the leaves. I wanted sort of a more of a plain finish on these and the sparkle on the leaves. And then this is actually a little tiny punch that I'd got at home. And again, I've done a piece like this, little bit heavier, and then just punched those little piece out of it. All right, so what we're going to do then is we're going to actually put this together and actually create a card. So I've actually got my background at the ready. I've just made a 6 1/4 inch square card there. We've got some bits and pieces to put on there. I'm going to use my hot glue to actually put some of that together.
Now, is this hot, or are you going to pretend with this as well?
Let's put it this way, I'm not putting it on my finger. So you can see where we...
I just got this idea of us creating this parody show of Pretend Crafts with Jan, where Jan doesn't actually do anything. She just moves things around and just holds scissors up and, you know, just puts blending tools in the air. I think it could be hilarious, don't you?
So what I actually did then was just trim this down slightly because I wanted to create a border on it. So if I just swap, I was going to say flip and swap and ended up with flop then. Just swap for the one that I've done, and as I've just mounted it on some craft card to give it a border. So it was exactly the same as what we'd done here. Trimmed the edge off it just to take it down a little bit, and then again I've used some of those pearl, those 3D accents in one of the gold colours just to add a few. Just saves on having packets and packets and packets of, I don't know, I've got a drawer full of them, but the little self-adhesive pearls. These are great. So we're going to pop this on as our first layer. So I'm going to put that on with my tape pen, and then we're going to start and build up some pieces on top, including those lovely leaves. So in your stamp set, you also get some sentiments in there as well. So I've actually stamped out the happy birthday one at the ready. So I'm just going to pop this down first and just left a border around there.
I mean, we're going to pick a card of the show in this show, Jan. You could be going for 2 weeks on the bounce as card of the week this week.
I don't know.
Who knows?
And then just because we've got that gap going on here, I wanted to sort of make the illusion that it was intended to be like that. So I've just created a piece that we're going to stick in the middle that now brings this all together instead of it having that gap and it looking like two separate pieces. So I've literally popped some foam on the back of these. Is it play? Yes, we're all right. We're playing. So that's going to go across that middle part there, just to, yeah, we'll go central with it, like so. And then again in here, this, I love that, the happy birthday is a really nice bold font. So I've actually stamped it out in brown and just embossed that. Can we pick,
yeah, I can see that there. That nice glisten.
You get the glistening bit. There we go. Look, you can just see I've just embossed it just to give it another touch. And I've used some of those little pearl accents on there, those 3D accents on there. And I've built up the foam on that one so that it fits either side of the panel here. And I'm just going to go straight for the centre on that one. And then what I wanted to do with the leaves is actually create like a little bit of extra design. So I'm going to pop, just for speed. If I was doing this at home, I would probably use my 3D glue gel. Okay. But because we're in the studio and I need it to set, I'm going to go for the glue gun.
Awesome.
Okay.
Loads of, I need more colours in these fun and gorgeous Pixie Sparkles. Says Mary. Karen says, you're so clever, Jan. Love all of your designs. Valerie's liking the idea of pretend crafting with Jan. There's lots of laughing faces.
It'd be a lot less prep.
It really would. Deborah says hi everyone. Rather late, been to collect my meds. Hannah says as well, oh, so pretty. Eve says, oh my goodness, that is wonderful. We need to get this when it is back in stock. It is in stock right now for you. So it's on the details on the bottom of your screen. It is the pale blush. The purple one is not in stock. Was it the purple one you used there?
I've used a bit of both. So the leaves have got, excuse me, just got a bit dry there. Yeah, the edge of them is the pale blush. So if I just pick that up a little bit for you, it's really, really pale, pretty pink on the edges. And then it's the purple one lower down. Brilliant. So when I actually did my piece of card here, I did half of it in pink, half of it in purple, and then stamped the leaves across it. Nice. Or you could stamp your leaves out first and then die cut them afterwards, whichever you prefer.
Awesome.
So again, I'm just going to pop these few decorations on just to finish this off, and I've got some leaves as well, which are all from that stamp set, so it's all sort of mix and match with it, and then we should be just about finished. So again, I've got some of the larger leaves and some of the smaller ones there as well.
It's a gorgeous creation. I think this could be card of the show, Jan, you know.
Again, I'd just like to do something a bit different. I've never been one for sticking to the rules, Joe. Never.
Isn't it funny? Because,
never have.
You're a very talented crafter, as is Craig, of course. But you and Craig are like the polar opposites, aren't you, when it comes to styles of crafting? Craig's all about standard, not really into his concepts, or, you know, I'm not going to say Craig makes very beautiful. Craig's style is
Craig
very
does
classic.
some awesome classic,
He's very classic
matting and layering as well. Yeah, he's absolutely mastered, hasn't he?
I love that. Between all of our craft experts, what we show you is all the different ways in which you can use our products.
It'd be quite interesting to give us all the same product, wouldn't it, and see what we came up with. I know Debbie Robinson and I craft very similarly.
You do, yes.
When we used to teach at the store in Chesterfield, or when we were making samples for the store, we'd come in and we'd not liaise with each other at all. We'd not spoken about it. We'd just taken the stuff home, had a play, and quite often come in with something that was really similar.
I think like Craig and Fiona are probably quite similar in their style as well, aren't they? They do sort of something similar. Awesome, absolutely gorgeous card.
So that's those background. So you can see how that stencil works beautifully with the stamps. Okay.
Really will be. If you want to grab the background stencils and focal stamps, absolutely can. I'll quickly whiz you through what you are getting included in there. You can get them all together, or what you can do is get a 40%. They are available individually if you want to get them individually, but you've got 40% savings. So you've got Make a Wish, Life is a Journey, It's Time, Back to Nature, Life Happens, Write Your Own Story, Happiness Blooms, and Music and Lyrics. So they are all the ones that you're getting there included. Lots of you chatting away in the comments as well. A lot of you. Aisha has been stocking up loads recently. Nona says, how on earth are we going to choose a card of the show? Such gorgeous cards. It is going to be very, very difficult. Yes, Dieta is saying hubby doesn't cook face, because that's why she's been doing the breakfast burritos this morning. CJ says, any secrets to share to this is a good question. Any secrets to share to ensure that mats and layers are aligned well, like your cards, Jan?
I think a lot of it is in the cutting in the first place, and I know there's lots of different guillotines on the market, but if you have got our guillotine, it's got those beautiful lines on it. Let me just grab mine from down here. But it's been designed specifically with these 1/4 inch marks, so when you actually start cutting cardstock, you can see. We always say to you to make sure that the card's buttered up against the top edge or the bottom, depending on where you want to work. But you've also got that right angle as well. So again, if I was coming to the 4-inch mark here, making sure that it's parallel on these lines on the grid as well, I know that I'm going to get a perfect cut. And when you fold it, you've got, you know, literally, it lines up perfectly on the edges there. But I think for matting and layering, I know I've heard Craig say this a lot, and as I say, I think he's the master at matting and layering, and he uses the 1/4 inch guide as an increment to come down. So if I was going to mat and layer on top of a 4-inch piece, I would come down to 3 3/4 for my next one.
Okay.
As far as getting them straight when you're sticking them, that can sometimes be a problem. Depending on what you're working with, the Collal glue gives you the the wiggle time to actually wiggle something into place. The other one that I've seen done quite often is to use the double-sided tape, but only take some of the liner off it. So you've got like a little tab, and do that on all the sides, and then you can actually move it around on, you know, on your layer that you're working with. And once you're happy with it, you can pull out
I've seen that.
the liners as well. So that's another way of getting them into place without committing too much.
Awesome, great tips there, thank you. Mary says, the difference between the different craft experts, I'll try again. The difference between the different craft experts is what keeps the classes and demos exciting. I love learning different ways of using the same products. It's a great point, Mary. Karen says, I have a newfound love of stencils lately, and it is due to the demo of Jan's a while back. So inspirational. Candice saying, Jan, you've knocked it out of the park again. Simply wonderful. Let's share some of the pictures that you guys have been sending in to us. We love it when you send in pictures of your makes. A lot of shaped word ones.
Oh,
shaped words.
fantastic.
Love this with the mirror card behind.
Yeah. Oh, look at these. They look fantastic.
Love that.
Brilliant.
That's from Linny. Mary Ahada has sent some in as well, the lovely Mary in Tennessee.
Look
Love
at that
Mother's Day
one. That's
card.
gorgeous, isn't it?
Really gorgeous.
I love the stripes on there. They look like pieces of glitter card
They
on
do,
there.
don't
That's
they?
lovely.
Really lovely. Michelle's done this one for a Happy Father's Day.
Oh, that was the like the craft along, wasn't it, that Debbie did? That looks beautiful on the
Really
box
lovely.
there.
Michelle has done this one just here.
Oh, look
Very
at that. That's a
pretty and pink.
pop-out one there.
A lot of rose gold paper in there by the look of it.
Oh, do you know, I love that collection.
It's a great one, isn't it?
Beautiful, with a little pop-out inside, yeah.
Renee Coghill has sent this one in to us as well.
Again, look at
Really
the
lovely.
delicate, there's an embossing folder. That's I recognise that's one of the original 3D embossing folders, I think, there.
Really beautiful.
In the background with the inking
very
on.
Subtle, isn't it? With
Yeah.
the colour in there. Susie T has sent this one in to us as well.
Oh, you can't go
Beautiful.
wrong with a good dandelion clock, can you?
Absolutely not.
Are they alliums, I think they call?
Are they called
I
alliums?
think they're alliums, if I remember. Or they're from that family, I think.
Now, dandelions, are they the ones that they look like a normal flower, and then when they stop, they then turn into dandelion clocks, or I made that up?
Yes.
That is them, isn't it?
Yeah.
It took me
And
a
then
long
you
time to realise that they were
blow
the same. The flower and that
Yeah.
bit were the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful. Susie T, the ultimate twofer, really.
I just
Susie
think
T's done this
they're
one.
they make a nice. I think they're a nice something. You know, if you're making a sympathy card as well, it's a nice sort
Something
of generic.
quite wistful about them.
Yes, yeah, but that's nice as well. That's the embossing folder there again that's been inked in.
Now,
Some gorgeous
shake a card,
samples.
shake a
Oh, here we
card
go,
for Renee.
look.
Is this a bit like what you might be doing a little bit later?
Oh, sort of.
Okay.
Sort of. You know
Sort
me,
of.
it's always a bit different,
Will
isn't
be
it?
slightly outside the box, won't it? As we know, it will be. So do keep sending any photos into us that you have, because we absolutely love seeing them. Now, I'm going to share with you the large stencils again. I know that we launched these at the same time as the Gemini Pro, but you don't need a Gemini Pro to use these. As with any stencils, if you want to pop them through your die cutting machine, you can emboss with them. These would have to go through the Gemini Pro, but as a standalone stencil, they're amazing. So you've got the Chesterfield leather there, the Falling Hearts, which I think is just beautiful. This one's the wood grain. Then we've got the sketched swirls. I think that is awesome. Really love that. Does it say Riddler or does it say Dali? Who knows? This one here. Why I say Dali, it reminds me of so many things that I saw in Barcelona. So I think that's what it was. And then we've got dots and spots here. You've also then got natural stone. This one's a deco tiles. This is beautiful. I think that is so gorgeous. Can we use, this is a question for you, Moroccan tiles, can we use gilding waxes through stencils?
Have tried it.
Okay.
It's not quite. It depends. If it's a water-based wax, you could get away with it. But the actual wax ones, such as the Pebeo ones, they're not easy to actually blend
Not easy.
around.
Okay.
I did try it once. It wasn't easy to clean the stencil afterwards. You would need some kind of probably white spirit or something like that to get it off, or something that would emulsify the wax. But it wasn't, I wouldn't say no, but it wasn't the easiest thing I've tried.
Could you use then the water-based waxes, like the
Yes.
Crafts Companion ones? Would that
Yes.
work a little bit easier for
Yeah,
something like
because
a
what you
stencil?
could do is you could actually apply those with your sponge applicators again. So you could put a little bit out on here. I would actually dilute it with a little bit of water, make it actually pliable, pick it up with my applicator and pound through it like I have done with the paints. It becomes more like a paint than a wax then.
Oh, awesome.
But the actual, as I say, the original...
The wax-based wax.
Yeah, like the Pebeo brand that we sell. Because it's wax in there and it's not got any water content, it's not easy to move around. It wasn't an easy job.
All right, brilliant.
Yeah.
I thought I'd ask. So I think, should we do one more demonstration? The royal weekend. Shall you do one more demonstration and then we'll do demo of the show after that? What do you think?
Okie dokes, yeah. So what I was wanting to do with this then is show you that, yes, well, they're about 11 3/4 square. And they did come out with the Pro, but not everybody's got a Pro. I haven't got a Pro yet either. So as far as actually using this to emboss with, then I was struggling a little bit because I didn't want to, obviously it's not going to fit through my Gemini. But what I did think was, and this is something that I do quite a lot, I've actually taken one of the pages this is from Vintage Diary, which at the moment is one of my favourites. And I've used the stencil here. Can you see on the bottom where I've sort of embellished
what have you put on
page?
there?
Now then, this is actually the Cosmic Shimmer texture paste
like a
again.
watermark almost, doesn't it?
So I actually went for one that was a similar colour family to the papers themselves, and this one's actually frosted mink, and again it just looks like cream inside there. So I've just put just like I did earlier when I used that glitter one, I've just placed the stencil over the top and just held it in place. I didn't actually stick it down. Chose which bit I wanted to work with. I'll never be able to line it up again as to which corner I did, but you get the idea. And then literally just dragged it through with my palette knife again.
Okay.
And I was actually going to demo it and do it on the other corner, but I know time's ticking away and I want to show you what I've done with the card as well. But again, you can just add elements, you put it on the top, and just go for bits of it. It doesn't have to be the whole thing. But it's a great way to actually embellish and then use these, for scrapbooks and things like that. But you can just see how
Could you just dollop it on and do like a swoosh of it?
You could.
Yeah.
Or even just, sort
Does
of
that
corners.
make sense, a dollop and a swoosh?
Yes, I got that perfectly. A dollop on and swoosh it across,
swoosh it away, yeah.
Or even, if you put it on with your palette knife and then lift it, you get that sort of texture going on. So around the corners, you can literally just do it and lift it back off, so you get that sort of like bumpy texture on it. Again, all sorts of different ways, but as a great way of actually, as I say, just embellishing. You see, we get a lot of foiled papers, but these that are actually not coated pages means that you can work on top of them. So again, you could use the glitter if you wanted to put glitter in it as well. So that was just a technique to show you. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm back to my stamping card again. I get through this stuff like there's no tomorrow. I have to order it pretty much every time I put an order in. So again, I've just cut it down to the size I want to work with, and I'm going to work with 3 of the pigment inks there. So rather than a paint this time, I've just gone for ink. And I'm going to try and do this as quick as I can because there's several layers to it again. So these are the 3 turquoises. I'm going to start with the darkest one, which is Lagoon, and work from the bottom and literally just do some basic blending.
And these were pigments or water?
These are pigment ones. I must admit, pigments are my go-to.
They're my favourite ones.
I really like them, yeah. They blend well. You can do your embossing technique, sort of heat embossing with them.
You get good coverage as well, don't you?
Yeah. And I'm not too worried what this looks like because, as I say, it's going to fade into the background. So I wanted to get like that ombre effect going on. So we're going to swap then to the middle one, which is Parakeet. And again, I'm just going to grab this to hold with and blend. And I'm sort of going in about quarters. So I've done a quarter of it in the darker tone. And then I'm coming up to about the halfway mark. And I'm blending into that darker one now so that you can see it's taking away that join. And then we're going to do the same again with the light one.
Are you going to pretend to dry these with your heat tool afterwards, or you just leave them to air dry?
I might pretend to dry it again, Joe.
You know that's the thing now. I'm not going to be able to. That's it. That's going to be our thing now. A lot of people talking about loving the 3D embossing stencils. I don't know what's going on today. So ironic thing is, I come in today and said that I'd had the best night's sleep that I'd had in weeks.
He's obviously picked somebody else's teeth up on the way, though, didn't you?
I've got a friend's dentures in by the sounds of it, Jan. Teasers, I just love those 3D embossing folders with the stencils. They're so beautiful. I really need these large stencils, says Mary Pat. We've got a great deal on those today. And she also says a wonderful, wonderful technique. Loads and loads of beautiful cards from Jan. Rhonda's saying today, all the cards have been fantastic. Agrees Janet and Mary and Patty as well. And also, Karen's saying I use a T-square to line up my mats and layers.
That's a good idea. A T-square is a bit like a ruler.
Yeah.
Have I got mine here?
Oh.
But it has a piece across the top.
Ah.
So it fits like this, and it's got a piece across the top here,
I
so you
remember.
can actually get that angle right.
Yeah, nice.
So yeah, it's a great way of actually lining things up to make sure that it runs parallel.
Top
really
tip.
Good idea, yep. Right, so I've sort of done thirds there. We've gone from dark to middle to light, and then I'm going to bring in my stencil now. And what I actually want to do is create, I want those dots. Are you all right over there? He's swallowed his teeth now.
I better not, I've got to get them back to my mate later.
So again, pick a bit that you want, and what I want to do is if the spots are sort of emerging from that ombre. So where we got to with the ink, I'm now going to replace with the stencil. I'm still using the lightest one at the top and just literally pushing it through those dots on there, as if these are rising up from that ombre piece that we've just done. So again, just pushing it through those little dots in there. And I got a bit sort of carried away with the dots. Yes, that's what I was thinking, as if it was sort of rising up from that. And then I'm literally going to go down the colours again. So I'm going to go back to that mid-tone. And where I had the light ink underneath, so that third band that we did, I'm going to take the slightly darker one, the next one down, and take that through over. So we're going to get slightly darker spots.
So we're going to have darker spots over a lighter background.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Are you with me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yep.
Nice.
And then I'm going to go again with the darker one over that middle section. All right. So again, where we've got the mid-tone, the parakeet, I'm now coming in with the lagoon. Okay.
Lovely.
Just to take that down. And then not right down to the bottom, I've just kept it sort of, you can see there where we're actually going with it. Okay, so that was the first stage with the stencil. And then I decided I wanted some more spots. So I went through my stash and actually pulled out a really, really old embossing folder, a really old one, but I wanted the spots off it. So anything that you've got that's got spots will do this. And it's just a 2D folder. So I'm actually going to pop this inside and emboss over the top to create some more spots. So we're just going to pop that through our Gemini quickly. And then I'm going to bring out the gilding wax, which I think we've also got on the show. And I want to just highlight those spots with the gilding wax.
Awesome.
So when we take
loving
this
these
one
colours.
off-
Valerie says Hannah loves as well. Aisha wants to know if there's generally any hard and fast rules about the differences between pastes and polishes.
Not particularly. The texture paste dries raise. That's the main difference between them. The polish will go flat.
Right.
Whereas your texture paste is meant to dry raise. So when you put it through a stencil, even though the stencils are only like 1 millimetre thick, you will get, so this that I did on the card here, you can actually feel it over the top of the card here. I can actually feel where that is, even if I couldn't see it. So you're getting that little bit of tactile element on your card. So that's the main difference between them.
Brilliant.
So I've actually got King Gold here. I love turquoise and gold together. I think they're a really nice sort of colour combination. So again, I'm just going to take some of this out. You've seen us do this loads of times, but I just want to highlight some of these bubbles so that they stand off the
yes, Jan, love that.
the background there.
It looks so luxurious, doesn't it?
And again, I've only brought the embossing folder so far down because we're actually going to put a piece across it. Okay, and then we've got another product on the show which I've not shown you yet. And I had loads of fun. And I'm going to talk you through this because it is a little bit time consuming. And I'll show you what I've done with them. So we're going to pop that one on there. And then we've also got a range of what's called glitter bits. And again, oh, just
That
goodness.
sounds like something you can have done in a beautician's in Essex. Doesn't it? Oh,
I'm not even going to go there, Joe.
See Sally get me glitter bits done. Oh, I snorted, sorry.
Oh dear, now these come in all different. We've got loads of them. I've actually got like an iridescent hexagon going on. I think that was on the show previously. I've got holographic hexagons as well, but then we've also got them in gold. So if I just open these up and show you, I'm just hoping that the fan doesn't blow them about.
Oh.
All right, so these are glitter jewels, and then there's glitter bits as well, which are they're like a glitter.
Yeah, they
but
are.
You can just see goodness in a pot.
You can. Oh, it's the glitter jewels. I've actually, one of the lovely demonstrators at Cosmic Shimmer was kind enough to give me, before I went to Glastonbury one year, a whole selection of biodegradable glitter from Cosmic Shimmer that goes on your face.
Oh,
and
lovely.
Cosmic Shimmer also do a skin safe adhesive.
Yeah.
So you can do like eyes and beards, and we have hours of fun with it at my house, Jan, if there's a party.
So you can see where I've got to. I've got pretty much the same here, but then just every so many of the spots, I've taken some of those little hexagons and just stuck them on with a little bit of tacky glue so that we've got that little bit of shimmer coming through there and just catching and twinkling in the light there. So that's going to be my background. And again, I've gone for some gold mirror card just to matte and layer, just to bring in the gold. So we'll put this one together quickly now, because I can see, I don't know where the time goes.
Do you know what, Jan?
All this pretend crafting takes a while, you know, Joe. Honestly.
Jan the pretend crafter, that's going to become your nickname. Debbie Fish has got a new nickname. The Fish is what she's affectionately referred to now. The Fish. People have started calling her it in the comments as well.
The Fish.
The Fish. I think it's a great name for her. So a lot of people say how awesome this is. Karen, Albright, Karen Craddock, Crafty Angie, CJ, Beths, all saying how awesome that particular technique is. It's going to be very difficult for a card of the show today, Jan.
It's just a way of using those stencils. Because they're a 12 by 12 size, don't think that your project has to be that size. And I'm not sure we're going to get that last demo in. I'll just show you, I have actually got a finished sample, so I can show you what I've done. Oh, I've not put my piece of, I was going to put some ribbon.
That was...
hang on, I might be able to get it off. Oh, yeah, we're good.
Oh, all right, brilliant.
We're good. So yeah, I was just going to wrap this around.
I see.
Here, where that border is, just to cover.
You like to do that, don't you? If there's any sort of transition in your card, I noticed, Jan, you always like to maybe just put a little something there, just to...
It just highlights the fact that you've not forgotten to just finish it off there. Right. It would be even better if it was straight. Come on, Jan. It's because I've forgotten to do it. Let's pop that on there.
Just lets us know that you're not a crafty robot, Jan. Some people think that we just pop your batteries out and you live backstage. That's not the case, people
It's not, no.
It's really not the case.
And then again, I'm just going to pop a bit and hope that we've got it reasonably straight. There we go, look, awesome. Stick the rest of it down. So you've got that transition there from the actual embossing folder and then the bit at the bottom.
Nice.
The only thing that I did here, I didn't show you that bit, the bit at the bottom here where I've got the spots, because we've got really dark at the bottom, if you take your baby wipe here and just take this, because the water reactive inks, you can lift some of the ink back out. So again, it'll give you that...
a little bit of a bleaching almost.
Yes, so you get that almost faded effect going on there, and that's what I've done at the bottom. I'll be able to have, my producer's just saying we're running out of time, but I've got a sample so I can show you what I did with the other one, and then we can pop it in the vote. All right, and then I've just stamped out a sentiment in
lovely font,
gold embossing powder, stuck some of those little hexagons on to match, and again you've got your 12-inch stencil, obviously to make cards with. So again, don't think just because the 12-inch it has to be that sort of project. Brilliant. Can I put my other one in?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm just going to do a few comments whilst you get ready for the vote of the show. We've had a limerick in from the one and only Bernie Corner. And she says, there once was a gallery named George, a formidable team they did forge. When Bernie came in, she brought with her a tin. And on flapjack and cake they did gorge. Oh, very, very good, Jan. She wrote one for me this morning as well.
Honestly.
She's
very good. I don't know how she comes up with them so quick.
What a legend.
She's very good at it.
CJ is loving your designs. Aish says it's never ending. Jan just keeps on going with the layers and they just keep adding to the elegance of the project. Lynn in Essex says as well, a fantastic background, Jan, but I don't expect anything less when you are making them. How nice is that? Do you want to take us through everything you've made then, Jan?
I am.
Number
I'm
them
just going to
we'll,
show you that last one because we're not going to get time to demo it. But you saw me work with the thanks one earlier. And I've done the card shape in black at the back. And I've brought the stenciling to the front. And this was the chalk paint again that I've done in different colours to get that ombre.
Nice.
Little bit of ink at the bottom. But then I've raised it on foam tape so that behind the O, I've actually got some of those Aurora bits in there. So I've just used some of those little glitter jewels just to put it behind the O, so it's not the whole thing. So I'm going to stick that in there as well. I'm going to sneak it in. So number one then, right at the top of the show, we used that beginner's kit and we made the poppies. So that's number one. Okay.
Wonderful.
Number two was the first one of the word, shaped word cards. So we did the thanks. Number three was the focal background stamps, background stencils and focal stamps.
Lovely.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
And then number four was using that big 12 by 12 stencil. And then if we had have got this one finished, number five would have been the other word stamp.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have got the choice. Use your vote wisely. If you want to vote, you can, of course, Crafters TV over on Facebook or Crafters Companion, of course, on YouTube. Aisha says, demo the show is going to be a hard one. They are all beautiful. Jill says, love it, Jan. No shock there, though. You are a genius. Caroline says as well, you are an amazing teacher, which is awesome. So get your votes in. Should we see some more pictures, Jan? Do you fancy that?
Oh, look at these.
Spoilers today, you guys at home. Cindy Smith, I love that. Like an eclipse card there,
It is,
Jan.
yes, with the lettering. That's been very cleverly done, hasn't it? Yeah,
Really
very
gorgeous.
clever.
Michelle's been busy with the inks as well.
Look at those, again, some terrific blending. And then that looks as if it's been stenciled over the top, that one on the right-hand side. It's either a stencil or a stamp there. And then I love that crazy crackled effect on the left-hand side.
Pam, she's busy getting ready for some pretend crafting.
Oh, look at this.
That's beautiful. That's a well organised but very creative space, I'm thinking, Jan.
I wish mine looked like that. Mine looks more like a bazaar
Still refusing to share pictures of your
Oh, honestly, I dare. I'm embarrassed. Honestly, it looks like a car boot sale.
And this is what she was making. Look at it. It's a beautiful
Look at
frame.
that.
Lovely ornate frame.
That's
there, as a gift for her
lovely.
mum.
Yeah, very unusual. I like
Really
that,
lovely.
Pam.
PPE Pam as well has been crafting along
Oh,
with us
look
too.
at that one. Yep, fantastic.
Really
With the
nice.
poppies there. She's using that yellow.
Really,
Looks
really gorgeous. A lot of
gorgeous.
you got very full baskets I can see across on the website. I'm going to give you an opportunity to check those baskets out. Whilst you do that, here's how you can watch and shop at the same time. Hi, I'm Joe from Crafters TV and I'm here to show you how you can grab the best deals and shop whilst you watch during our shows. So the best way to watch us is always on Crafters TV. Head on over to our homepage and go to Crafters TV. You can see all of our shows, offers and even shop while you watch. Now if you want to get involved and comment along, head over to our Facebook page. Come say hello, ask us some questions and lol with us. Or you can watch us on YouTube. Simply head to our Crafters Companion YouTube channel. Got a smart TV? You can even AirPlay directly onto your big screen. We're constantly adding new and exciting shows to our schedule, so don't forget to check in. It's never been easier to have us in your living room. It's always fun here at Crafters TV, so come join us as we create every day. We create. We're here every single day for you, which is awesome. We're going to spoil you now because we've got that kind of amount of time at the end of the show left. We don't have time really to do a whole nother project with Jan. So these are often my favourite bits of the show where Jan's just going to get all of her fabulous box of tricks out and just do some stuff with it, Jan, which is basically, Jan, isn't it, what I'm guessing people do when they get their products home for the first time. You just get them out and you just have a good old smush around with them.
Just have a go, yeah.
Absolutely.
If it's a new product to you, I would certainly recommend that. Before you start thinking, all right, I'm going to do this project and I want it to look like this, I would have an experiment with the product first and see what it can do. A lot of the Cosmic Shimmer as well actually come up different from white card to black card. So again, if you're making swatches of anything, try it on black as well as white. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, for example, I'm going to show you the polishers and the glitter kiss as well, which look very similar It's the same kind of base, but you've got the glitter in the glitter kiss, and then this is the metallic one. So just to show you again, if you click, this one's actually a new one, I think. I don't know whether, let me just see if mine's already open rather than opening. Have I got the green one in my box? I've got that much in my box that I can't see. I'm going to have to open this one, I think.
Okey-doke.
So again, just push with your thumbs and you'll hear that
click. Is it a
click.
bit stiff the first time?
It is actually anchored in the first time, so you just need to break the seal on it inside.
Right.
And it just literally with your thumbs, you'll hear it click. And when it's new, what I like to do is just prime this.
I think it's lovely that each one has their own individual applicator.
Yes, and somewhere to keep it as well, because I
really
tend to
cool.
have, you've just seen me swapping and changing the sponges for our sponge applicators, and I tend to keep them for colour families, but I've got a big box of them and they tend to get contaminated, whereas this, you've got somewhere to keep it and you know that it's constantly in the right place with the right colour. So just the very first time you get it out when it's new, I usually just spray a little tiny bit of water and then just soak up the water with this and then dry it off, just in case there's any residue in the sponge from actually making it. You don't need it to be wet to use it, but it's just making sure that there's nothing left in there from the manufacturing process. And then inside here, you've got that gorgeous metallic polish. So again, it behaves, because it's water-based, it behaves like a paint. So we're actually going to put it straight direct to the card with the applicator here. But if you were to take a little bit out onto your mat and water it down a bit, you could use it with a paintbrush to paint with. And again, you're going to get that lovely metallic finish on it. You'd have to water it down a lot before it lost that metallic effect. There's so much sort of mica going in on there to give it that, that texture. So let's do it on the white first. And again, all I do is put my sponge into here and drag a little bit out of the side and then use the side of the pot there. Can you see how it's sort of making like a little ramp just to take off the excess there?
A little glittery ramp.
It's got a little ramp coming up the side, yeah? Okay, because you don't need to overfill this. So you're going to get the true colour. And you can change your cardstock from being just plain white card into something that is almost like our Centura Pearl.
Again, beautiful if you wanted to die cut sentiments out of that, I'm thinking.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Or even things like creator cards as well.
Do you know, just for like matting and layering, you know, if you wanted to really coordinate something, just colour the edges of your mat.
Oh yeah, great idea.
Yeah, so that when you've got this on the edge and then you sort of pop your layer on top, you've got that direct colour that you're going to match to what you've been working with. Now on the darker card, we're going to get a slightly different tone here. So you've got that lovely green going on, but because we've got black underneath, you're just going to get a slightly different tone to it.
Love it.
Okay.
Doesn't it give you more of a hint, doesn't it, on the black?
Yes, I think you're getting more of a solid, more dense colour.
What would happen on craft card?
On here.
Was asking.
Shall we have a look?
Shall we?
Let me have a look.
I love it when we do these sections in the show. We just sort of go for it, Jan.
Here we go. Look, let's try on the craft card. So again, because we've got brown underneath, okay.
Oh.
So again, you're getting a lot of dense colour there.
I love it when you had those kind of like splodgy, you know, the splodgy sort of run marks in it almost, Jan.
What, to just sort of do it like?
Like a, or like when you put loads on and you get like that stipple almost.
So when you look at them beside each other there, it's, I think you're getting a true metallic effect with the white card. This one, I can see the black coming through there.
I like it on the craft the best,
But then on the craft card, because your craft card's fibrous and there's a bit of, not quite texture, but it does feel different.
It's more uneven, isn't it?
Yeah, it's giving you almost like a pitted surface on it. So again, this looks totally different to this colour to me. I don't know whether it's just the camera, but even looking at them here in the studio, this looks much more green, whereas that one's going sort of almost turquoisey green.
Is it almost that the base pigment sinks more into the craft card?
Possibly.
I guess on a watercolour card, maybe you'd have something similar. Jan, can we very quickly have a look at the Opal Blaze? Is that right? Because this was the one that I picked out before the show, wasn't it, Jan? And I was like, ooh.
Again, this is like a little tiny pot of goodness. It's a pot of polish in here, but you've got like mixed colours in it. So this one here is sunset orange.
Nice.
So if I change this in the light, you can just see it picking up those colours.
It's
so
like
again,
mother of pearl, isn't it?
Tiny little bit on here. But look how it comes up on the black card. you're going to see the orange. That was white. But on
That's
black card, yeah?
amazing.
But if I put it on the white card,
Right.
you're going to get the pearl effect from it.
I love it.
And let's try it on here while we've got it as well. We'll put a bit on the craft card and see. So you're getting the orange come through more on the craft card.
Again, it seems like
So
the craft
again-
card takes in the base, like the base more, doesn't it?
But again, you can see on the black, you've got a real, almost bronze, red almost, isn't it, on the black? On the
It's
craft
like-
card, you're getting like a peachy tone.
On the black, it's like the inside of a shell, isn't it, almost? Gives you that kind of feel.
I don't know if you can even pick it up on the white. You've just got
No.
that little bit of shimmer there, but it's more like mother of pearl.
Yeah, it is. Card of the show, Jan, number 3.
Oh, number 3 was
Happy birthday.
the stenciling one, wasn't it?
Yes,
Yeah, this
that
one.
there. Very
Yep.
well deserved winner.
Fantastic.
Lovely, lovely card, that one. Should we just share with you what's coming up for the rest of today and into tomorrow? Here on Crafters TV. There's absolutely loads to hang around for, as there always is. Of course, it's all about Second Chance Sunday at 7 p.m. today here in the UK, 2 p.m. East Coast time. That'll be with myself and Jan, looking back at some of the best offers and products and launches from the last couple of weeks, which is always loads of fun. And that's the end of the week. And then tomorrow, 12 midday here in the UK, 7 a.m. on the East Coast. It will be all about Wake Up Call with Craig. I'll be here gate crashing as well. So that is going to be loads of fun. I haven't seen Craig. I haven't seen him for ages. I haven't seen him since my last block of shifts. So it'll be lovely to check back in with him. Jan, massive thanks to you as always. I'll
You're
see
welcome.
you back here in a couple of hours. Don't forget to check out your baskets. Make sure you join us back here in 2 hours for Second Chance Sunday. Take care.